Yo guys, what is going on? I got another BT10 profile for you guys. This is going to be Gammamon Tribal, or Gammamon Rush as I like to call it. Very kind of similar in theory to the Armor Rush strategy, where you basically just got a bunch of rookies and then you slap on some high utility level 4s, and your game plan is to swing early and swing a lot. So if you're a fan of Gammamon, this is definitely the deck for you. This is a pretty fun deck, and I honestly think it has a chance to be semi-competitive. I don't think it's going to be winning any big events, but I definitely think it is a really strong contender. Like, definitely not too bad, and you can build it to where it is relatively consistent. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. For the DigiEggs, I'm playing 4 copies of the BT8 Gammamon and 1 copy of the starter deck. 12-1 that gives you plus 1,000 if you got 2 or more Digimon, but your main guy is going to be the once per turn if this Digimon is 6k or more, trigger, draw 1. The reason for this is because all of your Gammamon evolutions, the level 4s here, the blue one, green, purple, as well as the regular Beetle Gammamon, these are all 6k or more. You can boost them to more with your heroes and stuff like that, but you're pretty much always getting your draw off if you're swinging with one of your level 4s or one of your level 5s, the only real exception being a Gammamon here. So consistency is always nice. For the Gammamons, of course, playing 4 copies of the BT8 Gammamon once per turn. When you play Red Tamer, draw 1, of course. His drawing cards is nice, and then he's got a really powerful when attacking effect that just allows you to clear low-level Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k or less. So maybe if there are any floodgates or anything like that bothering you, or just preventing your opponent from really going wide, is important. And then for the other Gammamons, I'm only playing 3 copies of this one. You could probably cut this down to a little bit more because of the 1 cost. That's just really unfortunate. While you have a Red Tamer in play, this Digimon can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. This seems pretty mid as like a main effect. However, it's relevant when we get to the boss monster of this deck, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But just for the fact that you don't want to see too many of this card early on, I'm playing 3 copies, but it is pretty okay to see in hand sometimes. Okay, so after that, 4 copies of the promo Gammamon. I guess the other one was also promo, but this is promo 59. This is while you have a hero Amanakawa in play, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP. So 2,000 is a pretty big threshold. Already, if you got hero plus one of your level 4s, this becomes 8,000 Digimon. And then if you've got the Memory Tamer hero right here that says when you attack with a Digimon that has Gammamon in its name or level 5 or higher, you can suspend this to give it plus 2k. That's already a 10k level 4 there. So really, really strong stuff. And then lastly is going to be the on-play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2k or less. This is a really, really strong effect. Again, just rookie control is really nice to inherently just have in your deck. Of course, costing 4 is a little bit tough, but then he's also got that same deletion effect, but just for a 1 attacking instead. So that's going to be the Gammamon. This is basically every Gammamon we currently have in the game, so that's kind of why these are like your only options, like it or not. Those are the ones you're going to be playing. And then for the level 4 Gammas, we've got, let's start with the best one. Level 4, the best level 4 is going to be Beetle Gammamon, in my opinion. This Digimon simply just has Blitz when Digivolving, so even if your opponent's choking you to 1 turn 2, you're already swinging with a Digimon that's 6k, potentially 8k, drawing a card, possibly checking multiple security cards, so this guy's just really good. And then Wezen Gammamon, I believe, I don't know how you say these names. This guy just has piercing, and then keep in mind all the not red Gammamons can digivolve for 2 from him, so the fact that it's green or purple or blue, whatever, doesn't really come up too much in this deck. This guy, getting piercing is pretty cool. It's really good on your boss monster, but just having this in general as an effect is pretty solid. The other 2 I think are a little bit less strong. Klaus Gammamon is a really good game finisher because this Digimon can't be blocked, so preventing anything like maybe like a Gammamon or something like that your opponent's playing. So that's really good, but early game it's not too relevant. Not a lot of decks are really playing blockers. This doesn't get around something about like Magna X or anything like that, so it's a little bit unfortunate. And then the purple guy, Glulus Gammamon, is, again, Digivolve 2 from Gammamon. This guy has Retaliation, so all turns while this Digimon has a card with Gammamon, it's in its name in the Digivolution cards, which you'll pretty much always have unless you're hard playing it. He gains Retaliation, and then On-Deletion's pretty solid. You get to play Gammamon from your trash suspended, and then, of course, that does trigger the on-play, so something like this where it deletes opponent's Digimon with 2k or lower is really strong. But I found in testing he's not really that great by himself. As a support card, it's pretty solid, but just by itself, it doesn't really do anything. Again, so that's why I think playing these in lower ratios is okay, just because you'll see them eventually because you're drawing so many cards, and they're more good on like your boss monster. And that we'll kind of talk about. And then lastly, we just got 2 copies of Gammamon. Playing a lot of red tamers in this deck, so hybrid for game is still a really strong strategy. And then so for the boss monster of the deck, you are going to be playing 4 copies of Gammamon. So this card has got a lot of things going on. And can I just say, I absolutely love this alternate art. So first of all, Digivolve 3 from a level 4 if the name contains Gammamon. So you can effectively evolve on any of your level 4s. You don't really have to worry about the colors going on there. And then your turn, once per turn, when one of your tamers becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 for the turn, and then if he has 12k or more, this Digimon gains Sec Attack plus 1 for the turn. So really, really strong effect there. Having a level 5 with Sec Attack plus 1 is really strong. And if you're wondering, well, 12,000 is a pretty big threshold to hit. How are you going to do that? Of course, he's 8,000 base. There are a couple of ways to boost in this deck. Probably the easiest one is going to be this Gammamon that gives you plus 2k, and then of course you've got your memory tamer here, that's 2k, so that already is plus 4,000. And I'm also playing a copy of the Breach Claw. This card also gives plus 2k, so that's really good. So there's definitely ways you can kind of play that restriction to your favor by putting him to 12,000 and then swinging with it, checking multiple cards is really strong. But then the best thing about this card, I think, is the fact that all turns this Digimon gains all effects of the cards in this Digivolution cards with Gammamon in their name. So what exactly does that mean, guys? So that means essentially you can treat your Gammamon's main effects underneath this guy as if they were inherited effects. So for example, if you've got like like let's say you've got this Gammamon plus the Wezen plus like your egg or whatever. So from there you'll be able to draw 1 card, you'll delete something with when attacking, delete something 2k or less, and on play delete something or 2k or less. I guess that's not really relevant. But then you'll also gain piercing as well. So the fact that you can like choose whatever Gammamon you want for whatever situation. You can have a guy with Sec Attack plus 1, 12,000 DP. He can have a piercing, he can have blitz, he can be unblockable, he can have retaliation. He has the ability to attack unsuspended Digimon, which is why this Gammon's really strong because of Kana Weissmon, but just not really by itself. So that guy's really cool because of the fact that you can attack unsuspended Digimon. So Kana Weissmon, just a really, really powerful card overall. And then for the option cards, playing a lot of option cards here. The ratios here you can probably mess around with. I haven't tested out the ratios like perfectly, but I think including some of these cards to some level is like really good. So first of all, I already talked about Breach Claws. It's like they're in archetype, like plus 2,000. 1 cost card. So you get to give something plus 2,000, and then by placing a Gammamon in its name from the hand underneath one of your Digimon's Digivolution cards, you get to trigger draw 1. So this card works really well with like extra Gammas that you have in your hand that aren't really doing anything. So like if you've got a Kana Weissmon on field, you can play this, give him plus 2k, and then maybe he's at that 12k threshold, and then you can stick something like the attack unsuspended Gammamon, or maybe the piercing. Maybe if you want piercing and retaliation, you can do that. So you've got a lot of utility with that, and then of course drawing a card is nice. I don't like this card in multiples though, like in too many multiples, because it requires you to have like extras of everything, which already means like you're in a pretty solid position. But maybe playing this at more than 1 is probably fine. I think I'd probably play like two this card, probably not more than 3. But again, like I said, you can mess around with the ratios. So Breach Claw, definitely important. Crimson Blade is another really powerful card that's like insane this upcoming format. So I think if you have the ability to run this card, you should. I think you guys know what this card does by now. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon 6k or lower, and then your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of their next turn. Just being able to do that, security effect, activate the main effect, and then being able to reduce the cost by playing it from your hand by 1 for each Digimon your opponent has in play is really, really crazy. Again, just punishing wide boards and stuff like that. Keep in mind, I think I've talked about this at some point, but keep in mind the Psychomon Floodgates can't actually effectus reduction. So that's really good for that. So maybe if your opponent's got like Gammamons or something to stop your red memory boost, that's important. But overall, just a really powerful card. And then red memory boost, I think, is still pretty important to play in some capacity. You are playing a lot of non-red cards, but pretty much your whole level 3 lineup is red, so I think it's important to see early on. Sunrise Buster, I'm playing a Sunrise Buster package with 3 copies of Taikari and 3 copies of Sunrise Buster. This card is just ridiculous. It's just so good not to play. You could definitely play a more standard version of this list and probably like take this out for like some other cards, maybe like an extra hero, maybe some more memory boost or something like that. But I think playing this card is just so powerful, especially because of how much you draw. I want to see this card all the time. I want to see it in security. Your only yellow source is Taikari, but it shouldn't pose too much of a problem because you are playing 3 copies. So Sunrise Buster, the leading stuff is really good, and then being able to play heroes for free is really powerful. And then speaking of your heroes, these are the only 2 I believe we have in the game at this moment. But regardless, you got the Memory Tame hero, which of course is good to set you to 3, and then of course the attack boost. But this hero, the promo hero, is so ridiculous. Oh my god. This guy, when you attack it with a Digimon that has a Gammamon into Digivolution cards, you may suspend this tamer to have that Digimon gain Sec Attack +1 for the turn. This is just no restriction, just give a Gammamon Sec Attack +1. So you can easily, like, turn 2, turn your Beetle Gammamon or, like, any of your level 4s into, like, a level 4 that's, like, 8k swinging, checking 2. And then don't even get me started on how the fact that this stacks and then putting it on Kano Weissmon as well. I've gotten Kano Weiss to check, like, 4 or 5 cards before. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And for a 3 cost too, this card is really, really powerful. Of course, the only downside being you can't play it in any other deck that's not this deck, but it's just a really, really powerful card. And then Taikari, I kind of also talked about, mainly just for the Sunrise Buster, but the effect is to like reduce your opponent's security is really relevant as well, just to ensure your Gammamon survives, so that's pretty cool. And then the memory gain is also really strong as well. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the Gammamon Tribal deck list. If you want to see some gameplay, I'll probably have that down in the description below. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.